Do you ever struggle to kind of keep it together, like mentally, emotionally? And if so, what sort of helps to kind of snap you out of that?
Yeah, there's a few things that I do. One of the sort of most, I would say, long-term valuable things that I've done for a long, long time is just gone to see a therapist. A lot of us shy away from the thought of it. We think we've got to be a crazy person, or we've got to be suicidal, or we've got to have some pretty serious stuff going on in our lives to be able to even think about the possibility of going to chat to a professional about it. We have these excuses like, oh, I talk to my mates about that, or I can talk to my missus, she's pretty understanding. But seeing someone that's a complete third-party observer who has trained their whole life to be able to help you navigate through some tough stuff, I've found super valuable. And it's been a weekly occurrence for me for the last 5 years or so.
Awesome.
And I've found that hugely valuable. And there have been moments in my life where it seems superfluous to needs and I feel like I'm on top of the world, and other times where it is massive leaps and bounds and my personal understanding of what's going on week to week. So that's been a huge part of it. Being able to write down my thoughts has been huge as well. I've got stacks and stacks of diaries over the years of just things that have been on my mind that I've needed to get out on paper, and it's just been this release from here to getting it on a bit of paper and starting to make some sense of it, or even just taking the power out of those thoughts if they feel particularly overwhelming. Those two things are probably the biggest and most effective, other than, moving my body physically outside of work, walking, running, yoga, whatever it is, and, sitting down and being still. I think, those other two have been massively helpful in helping me get through those really tough times, which I'll be honest, I've been through very recently, and I'm still, clawing my way through, not feeling absolutely fantastic every morning when you wake up. But it's a journey, and I know that there are, just waves that you go through in life, and being able to navigate those and have open conversations about them. I'm open with my boys at work and express to them and make them feel normal and feel comfortable, and being able to talk about things going on for them, and normalize things like going to therapy, and normalize things like writing down your feelings, or even wanting to dive a little bit deeper into things. I go on so many courses and read so many books about how to better myself as a human being and understand this thing here and what that human experience can be like, and has been like for people that have been able to find a sense of ease and comfort and just living, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, there's a lot of research out there that backs what you're saying, even about writing. Obviously, talking to someone, going and seeing it is always beneficial, and a professional. But even writing things down can be, because sometimes thoughts are just like bullshit ideas. Right?
Yeah.
And not good ones, a lot of the time. And so just writing it down is almost just like it just gets it out of your head, and you can like almost objectively look at it on a piece of paper, and then it just sort of like it loses, like you say, it loses all its power. Yeah. What are some, for people out there that may be interested, what are some tools, podcasts, or, books or anything like that you've sort of partaken in that could be helpful for people to kind of get their mind right, or anything you can think of?
Oh, there's hundreds. I might grab my phone to give some inspiration.
Yeah. I think it's always good to share these things, because sometimes people, because I've so many times I listen to podcasts, or I hear people say books, and then boom, I just write in my notes, and then 6 months later I see it again, and then I read the book, and then it's like super helpful. So I think I think people might find that beneficial for sure.
Yeah. One of the more recent ones that I read, which was I do a lot of audiobooks, which I find really helpful.
I do only audiobooks, so I don't read.
Yeah. But if you can handle podcasts, you can handle audiobooks, in my opinion. The Courage to be Disliked.
Cool.
is really good. It stepped into Adlerian psychology, so just a different form of psychology, which I'd never really stepped into much before or learned anything about. So it was different to, Freud or any of these other ones where it was very like, oh, if you had some trauma in your life, that's why you're fucked up today.
Right.
And rah-de-rah, and very blaming of your past experiences for how and why you are the way you are, and it kind of excuses some behaviors in today's day, and has like an excuse for staying exactly as you are.
Yeah.
Adlerian psychology just gives you another perspective. I won't go too much into it, but
right, as it really sort of touches more on the taking accountability and moving forward rather than looking back.
That's right. Allowing yourself to be essentially able to change the way you perceive certain experiences and things that have happened in your past and the things that are happening in your present and future. So,
what else have you got for us?
What else? Definitely one that comes to mind as I get down here was Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. That was just a fantastic book to understand ways that we can communicate with each other that can cut through all of the nonsense that we might get confused about, whether it's with our partners at home or, in a business role where you've got a disgruntled employee or contractor who's upset about something, being able to cut through the facade of what might be really going on. They might be saying something about a light switch being in the wrong place, and what really is going on is they're feeling, unheard from all these other things that have been going on, and they're not feeling respected or whatever it is. And this can come in with clients and everything like that. It's just a fantastic book to be able to navigate tricky scenarios, I suppose, but I found it all encompassing for every part of my life. There were little things in that book that just helped me become, I think, a better leader and a better person. Highly recommend.
A couple more,
just
so the folks at home can.
One other one is I talk about it all the time. A lot of people giggle if they know me and hear me say it, but Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep.
Yep.
I think one of the easiest ways you can help make life a little bit easier for yourself is get a very good and strict sleeping routine. Cutting out all the other stuff that you could do for yourself and all the diets and all that sort of thing that could come secondary to just having a really good sleep pattern. That book goes into great detail on a lot of sleep myths that we've been taught growing up, and gone to prove some fantastic things about sleep that a lot of the time we might not know about. And I think, it was because I talk about it so much, I think it might be one of the most important things that I've read and had to put into practice for myself.